very best unenchanted food you can get in Minecraft is the golden carrot or the saturation suspicious stew. However, most people instead opt for the cooked beef, which is a much worse food overall. You'll get hungrier sooner, but it heals more hunger shanks in the moment, and most crucially of all, it's easy to farm. As a result of this, I can easily assume the actual food you should be eating, if those are your two most important criteria, is the rabbit soup. It heals you for 5 hunger shanks, and it's incredibly easy to farm. It might be one of the most pointless farms otherwise, but when has pointless ever stopped me having a good time? With that said, hello, I'm AbbyX Toy Cat, and welcome back to the Update Adventures Let's Play world. Today, I'm going to be making a rabbit stew farm, a farm that sounds so stupid, you know it has to be a good idea. And the idea is really simple. Rabbit stew is made from 5 kind of difficult separate ingredients, and so since they're all farmable, why not do so all in the same location, which will be right here. And I'm going to do so in a single chunk farm that looks like a giant bowl of rabbit stew, which we'll need to craft to see what it looks like, but obviously don't have any rabbits here, and so... There we go, rabbit stew is obtained, and so now let's build a version of this. Go. This was not meant to be part of the process, but pillager spawns are insane, so I guess we'll do it anyway. And so here is my bowl with not very much rabbit stew in, because that's what I need to add right now. I'm going to need some rabbits, some potatoes, some carrots, and some mushrooms. So the easiest of those to farm is obviously the rabbits. You can Noah's Ark your way into it a little bit by just finding 2 of them, and then breeding your way up from there, something I'll hopefully do right now. Rabbits spawn in all of these biomes, but the easiest of those for me is the desert. I mean, this is a very confusing looking desert, but the point is, we're going to use our carrots to lure in, it seems as though 3 of them. I'm going to have a preference for adults though, because you can't breed the babies, and so I'm sorry for... Okay, well that problem solved itself clearly, because rabbits really hate people unless they have carrots. I mean, I really hate people unless they have carrots too. Actually, you know what? I hate people with carrots as well, I should say. But yeah, you can use your carrots to lure rabbits into a boat, and then we'll go way more Noah's Ark on this, I guess, because we're literally going to put them on a boat and take them very far away from their family. Sorry, buddy, because we have important things to do over there. Now we simply put the rabbits in the bowl, which is actually probably a little bit easier said than done. We're gonna have to make a big kind of jumping ladder up here and hope they don't fall out. Something which is very, well, as you can see, works very well all of the time, never has any issues. Oh, it literally, oh, you can't lift mobs out of the water this way. You can't, there's like a suction effect that keeps the water working right there. But if we place just a little tap of water right here, just to kind of get them up, then there we go, whoa! Physics, they totally make sense. Never changed them, Minecraft. Anyway, so now we can move them kind of bouncily, just a little bit, over this way, hopefully. Maybe by going a little bit higher. And then all of a sudden, with no issues whatsoever, there we go, in we go. Don't take too much falling damage. Boom, we got some rabbits in our farm. But obviously, before we let them out of the boat, they need to be contained somewhere. I guess a corner makes as much sense as anywhere else. And now we can do something fun, which is breed the rabbits while they're still in the boat. I'm actually not sure if they're close enough for that. Ah, there we go. And now we've got a permanent supply of adult rabbits, so they're never gonna accidentally bounce out of here if we make a mistake. But also, we can slowly start to produce some babies, which of course will place some hoppers down, so that if they have any accidental fire-based hazards, then maybe we could be the beneficiary of that. Oh dear God, I forgot how tiny baby rabbits are. You know, what are they doing being half a block tall? See, this is exactly the reason why you should always keep some mobs in a boat. You never know when you're gonna make a terrible decision, and if you're me, you actually do know when you're gonna make a terrible decision. It's gonna be shockingly soon. So my backup plan is to use a trapdoor. This is the smartest way to have a chest still be accessible while still having something above it. We placed one of these down just like over here, I guess, on the side, on the top of this block. There we go. Now we can close this down, and we can still have easy access if we need to, but no mobs can get out, and I can still get all of my spruce slabs. I've got 3 of them, it's really good, and boom, that is now wonderful. And now I'm going to take all this dirt that I used to get the rabbits in, And I'm gonna make the rest of this side of the bowl into the most calming farm you can make in Minecraft, because this is as simple as it can get for a farm. We're gonna place down, get this, some potatoes and some carrots, and apparently, like what happens in the real world, I was shocked to learn this, you just place some of those potatoes down again, and you get more potatoes out there. Seriously, there's an infinite money glitch in the real world, because carrots do, I think you'll find, 1 carrot costs less than 60p, at least here in the UK. You get a whole bag for that price, and so if you can take 1 carrot that's worth that amount, and then you can just multiply it into 1 billion carrots, then you could have 1 billion times that amount, or 60 billion p, and at current exchange rates, that's worth almost 60 billion cents. Wow, isn't that terrible? You know, I feel like this is a common British joke as to how worthless our currency is, that it's worth about as much as $1, but I feel like that just doesn't translate to international audiences. So how about instead I give you this graph of how the pound is usually done. Anyway, speaking of things that have usually been done, now that we've got 2 types of crops in here, we can really upgrade the amount of rabbit stew that is coming into the bowl, which is maybe one of the fun parts of the process. And this isn't just fun, but it's actually necessary, because if we want to grow mushrooms, we're going to need darkness. In fact, if you read the Minecraft wiki, something wild about mushrooms is that if you try to place them, even if it's in the dark, somewhere where it naturally would have sun, like right here, you won't be able to place those mushrooms. Obviously, actually placing them down does seem to work, so we'll come back in the morning and see if they really are so fussy about that. But yeah, mushrooms are very fussy about light levels, and so if you want to start a farm, you need to have a light level of 12 or below. The natural daylight is 15, and the torchlight is 14, just for comparison there. And so let me show you where our mushroom has presumably stopped existing. If it hasn't, then you know what, ignore this whole section of the video and just skip to the end joke. But as you can see, the mushroom apparently exists in daylight still, but if I try to place another one, I can't. I am actively left clicking, right clicking I should say, but left triggering, and it is not doing anything until I get to light level 12, which should be about here, I would guess. Over here, oh, it's because of these blocks being misplaced. But as you can see, now I can place mushrooms all the way over here, but I can't over here where it's light level 15, or over here where it's 14, or over here where it's 13, but apparently if you place them down, they'll just stay there, which is a weird but useful fact, maybe, if you want to confuse people. Anyway, speaking of weird facts that will confuse people, mushroom growth used to be really, really OP in Minecraft, and so they actually nerfed it with the 1.8 beta. I know, a very, very long time ago at this point. Can you even be mad at a nerf that old? But basically, it means that now mushrooms will not grow if there are more than 5 mushrooms in a 9x9x3 area of them. It is a surprisingly far distance that mushrooms care about, which means if you want to farm a large number of mushrooms, you're going to need to have serious distance between them. We could have a mushroom over there, we could have a mushroom over here, and a mushroom like, I don't know, we'll place one in this corner over there on some grass. I don't think that works actually. Yes, it does. And now each of these mushrooms has a small chance every single tick of spreading to a nearby mushroom. How small of a chance is it? Well, let me patch in this ceiling because it's gonna cause me some issues. And let's sit in the darkness. Wait, what? What is causing this light? Is it coming in from the ground down there? How does that even make sense? But anyway, so can I still place mushrooms here? Okay, it's light level 12 or below. So now we're gonna sit in the dark for a bit, and I'm gonna show you what happens in this amount of time.
Meanwhile, at the Krusty Krab.
The answer, by the way, is 1 mushroom in 1 hour. My god, is that terrible. So you can see that technically this works. We now have all of the ingredients we need to make ourselves some rabbit stew, but also this isn't really much of a farm, is it? We need to automate this process much more, and so we're gonna do something a little bit different by hiding inside where we can pretend that it's not raining in dark, because here is a fun idea that I have. 1, we're gonna torch the corners of this place such that not enough light gets to where the mushrooms are, but also that we can still see. That is incredibly important, in my opinion. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to work out an automated way of farming these mushrooms that is actually much more effective. You can only have 5 mushrooms in a certain area, and so the basic idea is, what if we made the maximum possible spread area for our 4 mushrooms? And this is basically, mushrooms can spread within a certain distance, but their best bet is to spread to the block that's nearest by them, and so we're going to have some blocks on the ground right here. We'll use hoppers hoppers for now because it's going to have some rails on top, which will go into my big central chest with every single thing else, by the way. But yeah, we'll have some hoppers over here, a lovely good start, and then we're going to place some rails on top of them, and those rails will have minecarts running along them, and then on top of that, we're going to place some dirt, which I believe we have some over here, which will be the same layer as the rest of this, so let's just say over here, and on top of that, we can place our mushrooms. And so here is the basic idea, if it's not coming together yet. Also, oh, we actually grew 2 mushrooms in that time. I have no idea how a mushroom grows on, what is this, spruce planks? Is that meant to be possible? I guess it is meant to be possible. But yeah, as you can see, I actually got 2 mushrooms. I lied when I said the mushroom farm was ineffective. 2 mushrooms an hour is actually incredibly acceptable to me. But yeah, as you can see, now all we have to do is have that go up there. Actually, no, we want to have this go a block higher up, which, you know, actually we could kind of have it on the same level, but we'll place 4 mushrooms up here, which is 1 short of the maximum which we could easily have. The reason why is because now there is a high possibility that somewhere in the next, 10 minutes, one of these 4 mushrooms decides to spread. And as long as there is some suitable blocks around, which I'll make sure there is, it's going to spread to one of these blocks, right? Actually, rather than a 2x2 pattern, I think we'd be better off doing 4 in a row. So let's try that instead because there's more surface area on this. Now we have 4 blocks in a lovely row like so, and we can have 9 possible locations for those mushrooms to spread to, or we could just do 8 for a nice easy thing like this. And now there is also let's place them down. Now we've got loads of places for our mushrooms, and that's going to be great. And now we just have to make it so that when a mushroom does spread, we don't ruin our life. Also, we're gonna replant that potato. But yeah, let's go grab some pistons and hoppers. And there we go. We should have all the ingredients we need to make a decent start on this. One of those is obviously rails. One of those is going to be powered rails, which I always forget the recipe for. I just assume it's like gold, and there's like a torch in there somewhere, right? Okay, it's redstone separate to the... It's a redstone torch inside of the recipe, but you can't use 6 gold and a redstone torch, because of course that would be illogical. Okay, I'm not upset, don't worry. But yeah, now what we have to do is just make all of these rails work together. And so let's make some spruce planks. Let's have a big rail go underneath every single one of these blocks. So I guess... Actually, all of these hoppers probably need to move too, but yeah, we want to have we want to have ourselves a big ol' hopper run around here, or a minecart hopper run around this, which means we make a hopper, put it in a minecart, or make a minecart and put it in there. And so yeah, you can see how this is all going to automate. And while it does, I want to tell you about a recent trip that I went on. I feel like a lot of people already know this, but the Let's Play is not just an update as to what's going on in my survival Let's Play world, but also in life and the universe and everything else as well. Partially because I don't have any like major vlog series, but a lot of people are curious what's going on in Toy Cat's world. And if you are curious about that, well then, allow me to answer. So the simplest answer to what's going on in the Toy Cat world is things are going pretty well. There's been a really long time since I've gone on like a personal, let's just do a trip for mostly me reasons. There's always been some fun reason for it. Like for the last 3 years, it's been pandemic related. For years before that, there's been something to it. But like this was just like most of a week going and doing stuff, trying some things that I hadn't done before, which is I think an important part of the travel experience. In your day-to-day life, you can be so busy that you genuinely don't have time, or at least the emotional time, we could perhaps say, to dedicate to doing brand new things. But doing new things is super important as a person. It's how you grow, it's how you push yourself and get terribly uncomfortable, and it's really, really important overall. So yeah, by the way, we now have a minecart hopper system which can pick up mushrooms, but how's it going to pick up mushrooms? Because even if a mushroom grows right here, how is it going to end up in the hopper without being broken? We can't break a mushroom. There's no automatic way to do that. Well, what if I told you there actually was? And let me show you that way right now, actually. Right after going all the way back home for a single piece of redstone, of course. But yeah, I went to Quebec, which is the French-speaking part of Canada. It's always like, to me, like, I love the Anglosphere countries, I mentioned a billion times. There is like a real familiarity in language, which is important, and like, I don't know, like, I feel like you can't understand a place if you can't understand the people, right? Yeah, you're always gonna have a subsect of people from any other country, but when it comes to like the Anglosphere, it's kind of nice that you can all understand each other. So one of my big like comfort zone areas that I'm not so good with is honestly, also why do I have 2 sets of observers here? Do they not stack together? They do stack together. Perfect. But yeah, there's this big comfort zone thing for me on the level of like, yeah, I don't really in countries especially where they have like a local language that they're like mad at you for not speaking, it's a part of me is like, man, I came here to do things, not to, I don't have the ability to learn language, so I feel really, really bad for not learning it, but also not bad enough to be able to do something about it, apparently. So it's one of my big weaknesses as a person, so I decided to like just push myself on that and go like, okay, it's the French-speaking part of Canada, worst case, everyone should have enough English to like get me by in the worst case of things, and it was actually a really good trip overall. I really did enjoy it quite a bit, and I feel like one of the big reasons it's fun to, you know, like I don't know, like as a sort of example, I went camping for the first time in my willing life. Every single time I've been camping, it's because I was, you know, like in control. You know, when you're a child, you're just your parents, like, you know, like weird property that has to go where they go, apparently. And so they're like, oh, camping will be real fun. Trust me, we'll make it great. And then you're sharing this awful tent where rain gets in on you. And it's like, oh, this is fun, is it? Not being able to sleep for 3 days because it's like, you know, like you're in this overly hot, like crowded, humid tent. Like, this is what people like. This is what people do as a holiday. I genuinely didn't understand it. And I kind of swore to myself, like, I'm never going to do camping. This is awful. But after enough years, I figured, let's give this a shot. There are clearly valid reasons to go camping. If there weren't, then no one would do it ever. And so I figured I'd give it a shot. I think people who camp really hate the type of camping I did, because it was like as fancy as can be. Like, you actually had a kind of built-in tent, so like a... Well, not even built-in tent, I should say. Instead of a tent, it was a situation... So we have to now place these observers, by the way, right over here. We'll place an observer on the observer just to make it easy. But yeah, it's like a kind of inside structure, sort of. There was no running water or electricity or anything. But it's like still, it meant that you knew you were inside. There's no bear ripping down your tent. I don't know if a bear could open a log cabin, actually. But it was that sort of thing. And also, they provided some firewood. That sort of basic stuff, just so you don't have to feel like you're entirely alone. And again, some people really, really hate that. To me, though, it was really... So how do we place on the side of this block here? Do we place, like, on the side there? I think it's going to go the wrong way if we do. Yeah, because it's based on the direction we're facing with this. So we'll face outward over here, and then we'll face our first one there, and then there we go. So yeah, these are all going to observe when a mushroom spawns, and then when a mushroom does spawn, we just have to place a piston over there, on the bottom side of it, and boom, it will knock it forwards, and that is my simple strategy for getting myself automatic mushrooms. So that is done wrong. That's done wrong. Okay, so it's... Maybe if we jump before placing the pistons, they'll work correctly. That's my genius idea here, and it works. I love to try something new. That's why I'm making this farm, is because, yeah, I actually, after going away from Minecraft, one of the things I wanted to do most was, honestly, my caveman challenge, which, by the way, will be back Thursdays. I'm gonna try to have a consistent day of the week for it, rather than, I think I just got obsessed for a whole week. It's gonna be every Thursday that I can do for the foreseeable future. We're gonna be doing the caveman challenge, and so also this Thursday I'm doing something really weird. I don't even know. It's called Ultimate Ninja Warrior. I don't know what that means. Someone just said, "Do you want to do it?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll be a ninja warrior." That sounds like fun to me. But yeah, let's test this works. Place a mushroom. It does not work because there's no redstone. So now if we place a mushroom... Oh, we need a sticky piston. Oh, no, I placed all the pistons down, and now I'm realizing they've got to be sticky. But the idea is solid, right? They'd go forwards, backwards, drag it off. So, I mean, yeah, the idea works in every way, except for now this base over here, which obviously is going to require some... where did I put my crafting table? It was somewhere dumped. There it is. Which is obviously going to require some powered rails. So now I put those powered rails down right next to this. I could use all three sides if I wanted to. A nice, simple, one-chunk farm. It's never going to have unloading issues. And now the minecart hopper will hopefully run around happily forever, right? If we... Oh. Okay, let's break the minecart hopper. There's nothing in it anyway. Although, it's ended up in this chest. And now, after all of that... we have ourselves a hopper system to collect, which will go around in loops. And we have everything we need but sticky pistons, and it'll work just great. And so if you just hold on for a second and ignore the amount of effort that actually is about to go into the next 5 seconds, look what happens in 3, 2, 1. Then wow, we'll have ourselves a farm where when we place down a mushroom, as you can see... Oh, wait. What happened there? That wasn't what I wanted to... Oh. Oh, I've got the pistons set up so that they open when the thing happens rather than close, which is a bad thing, and oh, yeah, okay. I see the mistake I've made here. Does anyone know what the correct block to actually mine a piston is, by the way? You try using a pickaxe and it feels wrong. You try using an axe and it feels wrong. You use a shovel or a sword just to mix things up, and none of them really do the job correctly. So if you actually know, I'd love to hear. For now, though, we are missing some sticky pistons, I think. Oh, there they are. Wait, there's one of them. Where did the last one go? How did I lose a sticky piston? Is there a good explanation for this, maybe? No? Okay. Well, I'm missing a sticky piston, but thankfully, I had an extra that I was apparently smart enough to bring. I thought I was dumb for doing so. But now we can just place our pistons down under this. Yeah, there we go. And so that... Okay, I don't even know if this is going to work. So now if we place our dirt there, and we shovel this dirt out of the way, when we place our red mushroom down, then... the observer does nothing because we need a block behind of this too. Oh yeah, this gets messy. And so now it will do exactly what I thought I did, collecting redstone and then annoyingly making me collect it myself from over here alongside my brown mushrooms. So now, if we can just do the exact same on this other side, so 4 blocks there, 4 redstone here, and then 4 sticky pistons coming right off it, which is apparently easier said than done. We have to remove our dirt first and then later patch it back in. But yeah, if we can do that, which it looks like I very much can, we now have a semi-automatic, a questionably automatic at the very least, or, you know, a mushroom farm, which will work just by me being somewhat nearby, which is handy because this is in the area of farms which... Actually, wait, should we see if it works? Yeah, there we go. It's collecting my flower pot for me, which means that any time a brown mushroom grows, it has to grow into one of these 8 spots. I don't know if it's dark enough, so... Yeah, it should. There's no way it's... Maybe this one is causing some issues, but it should be dark enough in here that no mobs spawn, but also... light, you know, dark enough that mushrooms can grow, but light enough that no mobs spawn because of the new light rules, which means we now have an automatic mushroom farm. And so there's only one thing left to do, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, are you going to sit here and man it for hours? No, that sounds utterly dull. That sounds like the worst use of my time. Instead, what I'm going to do is place some flower pots on the top to make it more mushroomy, because here's a fun thing we can do. We can cover this in some mushrooms to make it extra clear that it's mushroom stew. In fact, we could also probably have a little mushroom, you know, like a flower pot trail on the way here, just to make it a little bit extra clear that that is the idea too. So let's make this run down there, and then also just have 5 nice flower pots in a arrow formation, just to point out that that is precisely what we are doing. In fact, this is not an arrow at all, so if we remove that and then place one here, there we go. That is a mushroom arrow. I think you'll find it just about sort of works, and that is good enough for me. This has been the farm that you might need least in your Minecraft world, but also quite a satisfying, easy one to build. It's 4 separate farms mixed into one. You get a rabbit farm, which is useful for rabbit feet for leaping. You get a rabbit farm, which is technically useful for making that weird rabbit leather if you ever wanted that so bad, which I can assure you no one does want that bad. I can't reach the other one from here. But yeah, the fact is, we've done all of that, and we've done it inside of a rabbit stew bowl, so there's no question as to what exactly we want here, which is nice if you ask me. And so yeah, the next time you see me in my Let's Play, I'll be eating rabbit stew, at least one time, because it doesn't stack and it's kind of dumb. Anyway, thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday for the Caveman Challenge, and indeed, I look forward to seeing you for the next episode of the Let's Play. I have something really fun that I thought of while I was gone, and I'm looking forward to doing it. You know what, really, that's the fun thing about taking breaks, is you come back full of excitement and ideas, and I look forward to sharing those with you over the coming month, because it's August now, apparently. Anyway, yeah, thank you for watching, have a good day, see you next time, goodbye.